Okay, so now we're gonna make a magazine that's gonna fit on this gun, and we did make our HK33 magazine model. So, and pretty much in exactly the same way what we did, you know, how we copied the Nelson's prefab, and just replaced the model with our own. So we're gonna do exactly the same thing with the magazine. We're gonna base it off the military magazine. Okay, I think I did miss, maybe not the military. What about the Ranger magazine? Okay, we can use the Ranger magazine. So here it is. You can search for it, or just look. I might supply prefabs. I'm not sure, but we can duplicate this Ranger magazine. Rename this to, or okay, we should probably move it somewhere better, but we can just rename this to HK33 magazine. Or typically the convention, like Nelson does, is if it's a magazine, it's got the number at the end. So I'm going to call this HK3330 because it's like a stat egg. And then so it's got two different prefabs. The one is the item, and we just move this to the world origin. Okay, let's just move everything to the world origin. Might not have a... Oh, here we go. Okay. Here's the item. This is what drops on the ground and what you can see in your inventory. And then the magazine, this is what appears on your gun. So you can, again, have two different models if you want. But usually for like simple mags like this, you just use the same model. So again, so we've got HK33 here. We're going to search for our magazine. And we're just going to replace the models on both. So there's the one model, and they should be, just make sure make sure they're the right scale. If they're part of your gun, they should be the right scale, but you just do that. So we've replaced the model. And now we need to replace the texture as well. So I have another texture that I made. You can use your own, or if you have a different one, sometimes you can even put the magazine texture and make it part of the same gun texture. There we go. So there's our Stanag looking mag. And then I'm just going to... Okay. I think we can apply this. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to apply these changes quickly. Overrides, apply all. So now the first thing we can set up here is the item. So the item, all it is it's got a hitbox that you can, for when you drop it on the ground. Just don't make it too small. Again, don't be perfectionist with the hitboxes because it's really not going to make a difference. And if it's a good item, the origin should be in the middle, because that's kind of how we made, if you watched, I had like another video where I said that the origin should always be in the center of mass, and that's how you do that. And if you want, okay, I think that's all. And then for the magazine, so the magazine is slightly different to the item. It has a separate game object that you can move around without changing the original origin for the magazine. And you can do the same thing on your item if you want, it doesn't really matter, but this is just so that you can actually change the position of the model if need be, a lot easier. But for now, we're just going to set that to 0 so that it's kind of in the same place. Now, okay, and then in exactly the same way, okay, just let's go and apply both of these changes that we made. Oh yeah, okay, the icon for this, the icon, again, camera, the only thing that matters is the position of the camera and the rotation. Well, it's the only thing that matters is the rotation, because otherwise it's going to, so if you see, this is how it's going to look like in our inventory, and that's not going to work because it's slanted. So you typically want to make it like, either just set the rotation to, not have any rotation, or rotate so that it's like facing upright, kind of like that. And then just if you do add the camera, just make sure to remove the camera afterwards. I don't know if I said this before, but if you forget to remove your cameras, it's not gonna let you your item won't work in game, and it will throw a bunch of errors in your client console, and just don't do that. So yeah, okay. So there we go. This item is now done. I'm gonna apply the changes. Now for the magazine, exactly how we did with the grip and with the barrel is you just parent this onto the magazine game object, set the origin, or set the position to 0, and then it's going to spawn the mag wherever you drag this magazine game object. So we want to position this so that it like fits nicely in our mag slot, whatever you call that thing. And that looks quite good. So this is where our magazine is going to spawn if we do it like this. And also another thing I forgot to mention is, when you press T, when you hold T and it like the slots, you like pull your gun up, and you can attach different attachments, and it shows all those icons for like the magazine. So those actually also spawn from these game objects. So you just want to make sure that like they're all more or less close to the main section of the gun, because you'll see sometimes with other people's mods is, the gun is too long and the barrel's right at the end, and then when you hold T, you can't. It's like, and you're like looking down, you're like looking at this gun sideways, and the barrel goes off the screen, and that's because the gun was too long. So sometimes all the mag is like too down. Sometimes if you have a funny shaped gun, like an AUG, this magazine is, let me just move this out of the way, but the magazine is all the way at the back here, and sometimes you can't actually see it on your screen. So you can't, if you're in first person, you can't then click on it because it's off your screen. So that's just sometimes something that happens. So you just need to be wary of that. Sometimes you need to, and that's kind of the main reason that this model 0 is its own model game object, is that like you can then go, and if you want like the magazine icon to appear like here for some reason, then you can still move the magazine down here and it will show in the right place. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that because we've got a simple design, so this should work. Because this is like quite I wouldn't go for down here, but if you want, you can like drag the magazine down here and then just like move. It's not, you can like move it back up, and it's just, I hope you understand what I'm saying, but it's just for that reason. And then, okay, but we're done now, so we can drag this out, click apply, and that's actually it for magazines. Oh, okay, and we also need to apply the change on the gun because we've now modified the location of this. It was back here, but now it's been moved over there. So we just need to apply that as well. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to go through the site, which is it's not even that complicated, but it is the most complicated process of making the Unity setup for guns. So I'm going to go through that and stop this.